Ladies and gentlemen, dragons, one of all. It is April the 5th, episode 16, and the marathon continues. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. So, where are we at today? Last night was another shitty night in the sense of I said goodnight to everybody. Everybody was in bed, and my mind just started going. Fuck me, because I knew better than to eat so late, and um, I was using my phone in bed when I should have been concentrating on reading and winding down. I was looking at Strava, comparing myself, and just going down a road that I knew wasn't very good. And lo and behold, the 0.0001% negative that I could possibly even find, not that it was even negative at all, but my mind latched onto it and it was off to the races. It took me about an hour, uh, at least an hour to kind of wind down from it. And it's honestly, it feels like a roller coaster of thoughts. Um, and I just can't stop it. Like I know there's no basis in reality for them. I know it's just, um, I imagine it's a lot like OCD, where you just can't stop this intrusive thought. It just you rationalize it down, you bring it down, and then it comes back as a different angle, or like you find something else. So I mean that's basically how my mind has always worked. I've never known like a healthy kind of alternative, but I spoke to a good friend about it and related to him on a couple levels. Um, and it helps. It helps to reach out. It helps to be aware that there's no basis in reality for thinking like these. Like just trying not to identify with the thoughts. And what I forgot to do, I forgot to realize that it was a feeling in the body first. I didn't, I wasn't as proactive as I should have been. I didn't focus on my breathing. Um, I didn't respect my nighttime routine to the point of just putting my phone down. Honestly, not I wasn't doing anything productive. I already had my video uploaded and stuff. So it's just part of the process. Um, yeah, it is what it is. And when I think if you knew where I came from as a child, then it starts to kind of become a little bit more clear as to why I am so anxiously attached to this way of thinking. I guess this real what is it, like a low self esteem, insecure, unworthy, um, shame. It's really just shame, because I've grown up being told I'm too sensitive, I'm too this, too that. I've ruined multiple relationships based on just being so anxious, like so uh, unable to communicate what the fuck it is that was going on in my brain. And it always came out as distrust or paranoia or something like that. And really it was just fear of emotions, I guess. I'm being unable to express my emotional needs. So like I'm sure I talk about books every fucking video I make now, but um, yeah, I've been diving really hard into this, into why I am this way, or not why I am this way, because I don't believe that I am in any way identifying with these thoughts or feelings, but I was definitely conditioned to act behaviorally in this manner right from childhood. Like it comes from feelings as a child that got programmed into my brain of being separated, of being misunderstood, of being neglected to the point of like my emotional needs, and just really just wanting affection. Um, and that basically ties into this inner child healing. Um, I talk, gosh, I talked to a therapist today uh, about reviewing my life and trying to find where the root cause of this feeling came from. And he asked me to review my life experiences that I considered to be influential from a third person point of view without fear or emotional ties or without guilt, and to really observe the negative and the positive of uh, my formative years. So my formative years being like early childhood through to like 7 or 8 years old, and like it's not good. It's I've tried. I've really tried to. I've really tried to shed positive light on like my childhood, but really it's fucking tragic, honestly. And not that I was abused physically or sexually or anything like that, but emotionally I was traumatized. Um, and most of it came from my father being what he was. I mean, he was a broken man, I guess, and the way he tried to get to my mother is by taking me and my brothers um, twice, I guess. Like first time being from BC. I was born in Victoria, BC, and first time he took us, he told my mother he was taking us for supper or something. I guess they were separating at this time. So he was taking us for supper, and we ended up in Nova Scotia, which is halfway, not halfway, it is all the way across Canada. And before my mother knew what was happening, um, that was that. So we were basically kidnapped. And I was uprooted from my birthplace and from my very early friendships, only to end up in Timmins, Ontario, starting preschool and primary, and being uprooted again. And somehow, I don't know whether he took us again or if my mother allowed it to happen, but we ended up back with my father in Nova Scotia, and I just didn't understand why. I didn't understand why I had to leave my friends that I still remember very clearly. Um, Best one of them being Heidi. I remember her face, and the most tragic thing is I was not. I was probably 5 or 6 years old. So, I mean, it's sad. Like it's. I remember birthday parties there. I remember the smell of the school bus as I was getting on and off of it by myself. I remember the classroom. I remember having to walk through this classroom to get to my primary class. I remember the pride I felt in showing up to this school, the same school as my brothers. I remember feeling happy at that point in Timmins, Ontario. I felt happy, and then it was it was taken away from me once again. And once we ended up back in Nova Scotia for the second time, I remember my only consolation was a Ninja Turtles calendar where I was marking days off with a big black X. And I think it must have been counting down the days until my mother came or something, but uh, yeah, I was tortured relentlessly by my two older brothers, and my father did absolutely nothing. I'm sure he actually encouraged it in his own way by not discouraging it. And I sensed something was wrong. So I sensed like I wasn't able to trust him. So I really started to seclude myself. I felt alone, empty, scared, separated from my actual childhood. In this weird place, and I just wanted to go back to my friends. I wanted to be happy again. But in saying that, there's so my mom says there was some positive in that I was a special kid. I went to this advanced school or whatever. I was I had a high aptitude in that I could skate easily, or like uh, my peers and my teachers loved me everywhere I went until I got to Nova Scotia for the second time, and my separation anxiety really started to take root. I I was never taught how to deal with it. Um, and I remember anxiety from a very young age, thinking my mother was going to leave again. I was going, I couldn't make friends because I would just have to get up and leave once again. So that is the inner, fuck. That is the inner child that is within me. He is a very lonely and scared a little boy who just wants to be told that it's going to be okay. Maybe that it wasn't his fault. Um, and that the reason that all happened to him was because his parents had their own journey to travel and their own burdens to bear, and that he was going to grow up to be able to take all this negativity and be able to turn it into a strength when he turns 38 years old. So that is the positive that I'm going to draw from my childhood, is that the lessons have led me to here and now. And I still, in many ways, I am still that. In many ways, I am still that scared little boy, but I think that's the whole point in trying to heal this inner child, uh, is to really acknowledge it and identify with him and support him in the ways that I was not supported, the ways that I needed support when I was um, going through all that. So that is the positive that I choose to draw from this. There really is no other positive thing that I can think of. Um, I feel it was all just taken from me. It's very unfair, and I really try not to hold. I can't hold anything against either my mother or my father because, well, my father is dead, and ghosts don't apologize. So this is something that I will have to metabolize into fuel for into food for the dragon. I have to feed the darkness to this dragon and turn it all into the light that I've been craving. I guess I've been really pursuing making my inner light stronger so that it can shine outwardly for the world to see. And that's essentially why I quit smoking weed 2 months ago. That's the reason I make these videos, to be of maximum value to the people that love me, and to my environment. So yes, that is the positive of my childhood, is that I am now going to use it as a cocoon that I can free myself from and become the butterfly that I should have been younger, at a much younger age, if I was nurtured and understood and allowed to live my childhood the way that in the way that I should have been allowed to. But like I said, that is my journey, and this is where I'm supposed to be right now. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm supposed to be feeling. This is what I'm supposed to not hide from. And like as I see how I am adjusting to the independence now of living by myself, having to be an adult in the sense of being the best father that I can be, even though I've separated from her mother. And despite all the things that I've been through as a child, that my father has put me through, or despite all that, I still choose to walk my own path. I choose to walk the wayward path, and it's always been that way. I've always craved to be different. Like, as much as I wanted to fit in, as much as I thought I wanted to fit in, like everywhere I went, I just felt so separate and different. And that's what I was supposed to feel like. I'm supposed to walk my own unique path. I'm supposed to lead. I'm supposed to feel all this, um, feel all these emotions that I think most people would be afraid of facing. And that's where I can really let my light shine the most. And I'm starting to appreciate that now. And that's really the positive spin that I can put on this, is that going forward, I commit to loving myself patiently, forgiving myself for feeling less than I deserved, and really just supporting myself in this process, and um, appreciating the process that I've undertaken. So yeah, I think that about does it for today. I'm Yeah, I'm putting in some good work, some good time and attention, and feeling these emotions and these sensations that my body really has been telling me for so many years, but I've chosen to bury it with cannabis especially. But like, I was hiding behind a victim mentality, hiding behind uh, rage, hiding behind, not rage, but more just grudges. I was hiding behind grudges, just blame. Like, but I think I'm finally starting to see the power that I can draw from this, and really face it down and turn my perceived weaknesses into a strength that I can really hang my hat on and keep moving forward. So that's where I'm going to end it. This video is getting a little long, and I think I've rambled long enough. Hope I made sense to somebody out there. It's getting quite late, so peace, love, and clarity. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.